Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this very special community forum presented by our own Executive Director, Eric Blegen. He is going to be describing to us the very exciting development that is coming soon, and that is the Mustard Seed Village, our brand new assisted living homes across the street from the Crandall Center. And he's going to give us quite a lot of information about how it's all going to work and what it's going to be like to live there. And we're really looking forward to hearing all about it. Eric, I'll pass the meeting over to you.
Thank you, Maureen, and thank you everybody for joining us today. I've also will be bringing on a little bit later our Carol Stryker, who is the person from the Greenhouse Project who we've been working with quite a bit. But first, I just want to get my PowerPoint started here. Just give me a sec. And that is me there, as well as Carol and Denise McCarty. So Denise on the right-hand side of the screen is the director of Mustard Seed Village, and her title is actually guide. Because that is in Greenhouse Project Homes, that is the director's title. So I'm going to flip to the next page here and just talk a little bit about the Mustard Seed Project and what we do. Our mission is really to support seniors and specifically to help seniors age in place in their homes and in their community. And we were founded in way back in 2006 by Edie Morgan, and her vision was to support seniors on the Key Peninsula to stay in their homes. And to do that, we created a whole range of programs that support that. So transportation program, you see the ride up there. That's our Catholic Community Services program, where volunteer drivers take seniors to various places they need to go. And then we have the Key Senior Information Center, which is staffed by volunteers who have expertise in various fields and can help guide people to find the information they need, because as you get older, you need to get access to information and resources that you didn't need to know about when you were younger. And then over there on the other side of the screen, you see somebody lopping some branches off a tree. That's one of our programs, is a yard care program for seniors. We also have a firewood bank program. People donate firewood to us, and then we get it to people who need it. We offer a pickup load for people who need some firewood. Also, we do home repairs, and then here at our Crandall Center building, our senior center in Key Center, we have classes, sail and yoga. And we have activity hours, and we're about to get our kitchen running. We have a kitchen manager starting this next week, and after a bit of time, she'll start creating snacks and baked goods and things like that for people who drop in for activity hours. And so we're pretty excited about that. So sometimes, so our mission is all about supporting seniors, but the gap here for the KP has been when someone gets to the point of needing more care, they can't live safely in their home. People have had to go very far afield to get that care, sometimes to as far as Chehalis or Tacoma, and then they are no longer part of the community, which is difficult for them, and it's difficult for all the people who love them. So now, and this is part of the long-term vision for the Mustard Seed Project, we have a local option for people needing that supportive care. As Maureen talked about, just across the street here, and you may hear some construction noises, we have Mustard Seed Village, and it's comprised of 3 homes in one building, and 2 assisted living homes, and then 1 memory care. Each of the homes has 10 studio apartments. They're all arranged around a really nice big common area with a hearth and a kitchen. And it's just really great to see it coming together. And of course, this is due to a huge amount of community support. This is a project that took many years to come to fruition, and a lot of donors, a lot of volunteers. We've had state, county, and federal support for the project as well. Our long-term financing was provided by the USDA. So we're really excited to be at the point where we're almost done. The plan is that we will open for residents January 1st. We had hoped we might be able to open December 1st, but the building will be done about November 15th, and we just want to make sure we have enough time to get the building working really well and pass the necessary inspections and all those things with the Department of Health, and give ourselves plenty of time. So we're planning on opening in January. So we're, like I said, we're here in Key Center, where you see the building here. We're just across the street is where the buildings are. And now the early plans were for 3 separate buildings. This sketch on the right-hand side was what the architect did when we realized that one single building would make more sense financially, and also there were some other considerations in that. But that was the sketch there that Steve Rice drew on a piece of paper a few years back. And this is it's a nicer architectural rendering of what the building was designed to look like, and it does. If you get a chance, or if you haven't already, just drive up and you can take a look at the building, and it looks very much like that. And it'll also have, however, a bunch of things that aren't in this sketch. In this front area where my mouse is going over here on the grass, there will be wheelchair accessible raised beds, a little sort of a garden hangout area with a gas fire pit and trellises and all of that stuff. So I think it'll be a really nice place for the residents to enjoy the outdoors, and also to have their guests there. We'll also be having exercise playground area off the north end of the building. That is a big thing in European senior communities that's catching on in the United States now. It's basically, a playground, but designed for adults, where they can exercise and have fun, and works on balance, all sorts of good things. We'll also have, back behind the building there, have a little outdoor performance area with for residents, 3 rows of seating, wheelchair accessible, up on the little slope behind the building, with a stage. So for local artists and things like that, to have performances. Between the Crandall Center and Mustard Seed Village on the other side of the road, we kind of envision a campus. So there is a road between us, but we're going to try to minimize that road. There will be a lot of back and forth. We plan on having residents, if they want, to come over to the Crandall Center in the afternoons to attend classes and to do activities, and also just visit with neighbors and other community members. Intergenerational programs are something we really want to do as well. So that's kind of a general overview of what the area, the campus is going to be like, and what some of the things that'll be happening. I wanted to now just take a little bit of time to talk about our managing partner, which is Concepts and Community Living. We've actually have an agreement with them to manage the homes, and they were pioneers in assisted living. If you've ever read the book Being Mortal by Atul Gawande, which there's a review of in this month's KP News, it talks a little bit about CCL's founders and their role in developing assisted living, as opposed to the traditional nursing, high intensity care model. And then our program partner is the Greenhouse Project. Some of you may have heard about that. We've talked about them quite a bit over the last few years. Very happy that we partnered with them early on. They've developed a model of elder care that is quite innovative, and started in the 90s, Dr. Bill Thomas, but I'm actually going to let Carol, if you could come back on here, and just talk a little bit about how the greenhouse model works, and how it might work here in Key Center.
Sure. So the Greenhouse Project is a lovely alternative to traditional nursing homes and assisted living. And it was started back in 2003. That first greenhouse home was in Tupelo, Mississippi. So it's a small home, and these small homes serve 10 elders each. And each of the elders have their own private room with their private bathroom. And each of the houses have this beautiful open design. So you can see the kitchen, a long dining room table that everyone can eat the meals at with the staff, and a lovely living room area. And it's where Eric has had his little mouse. So it's a very open ranch style home. The design is made for easy access to the outdoors. And if elders want to help with preparing meals or help in the kitchen, they have access to the kitchen as well. The team that supports each of the elders really work with 3 different core values. Those core values is the first is meaningful life. And that's every elder has purpose and meaning and has a way to engage in life and the community. The second core value is real home. And that real home, it enhances the ability for people to live a normal life rather than having those limitations of an institution or that traditional model. The third core value is empowered staff. So in each of the homes, you'll have dedicated, consistent team members who deeply know the elders that live there, and the elders get to deeply know the team members that they work with. When people know each other and understand what brings them purpose and meaning, the team is able to support the elder living there with the best life they possibly can. And there have been greenhouse homes in 35 states, and at least 375 houses are currently open and operating. And we're excited for these 3 additional houses to open soon.
Thank you, Carol. And everybody watching or listening, there will be plenty of time here in a bit to ask questions of either Carol or I. Yeah, this is a sort of a sketch that's developed since it was done, but you can see that some of the things I'm talking about are in place, but it's been refined a bit. This is where the raised beds would be. This is the performance area back here. Playground would be kind of off up in the upper left corner. But what paths throughout and also extending onto our side of the road with garden raised beds on this side of the road as well. So pretty excited about all that. And these people were so excited, even in the rain last November, that they all came out for our groundbreaking. So this was beginning of November last year, and Corsmo Construction has been our contractor, and they thought they could get the building done in a year, and that's what we're on track to do. So really happy about that. But I think it probably rained about 1.5 inches during the hour ceremony with people breaking ground. So it was really a great community gathering. And coming up in this November, November 12th, we'll be having a ribbon cutting, and everybody is invited. This will be at 1:30 on Saturday, November 12th, and it'd be a chance to celebrate the accomplishment and thank all those people who've made it possible, and also to get a chance to look at the building and go inside for tours. And so mark that down in your calendars. It's all that information is on our website as well. So this is actually, as I was describing, this is what the actual building looks like. It's progressed a bit since then, since this picture was taken, but you can see how much it looks like that original sketch. And as I said, we should be done about November 15th, and then we're going to give ourselves a little time to also, of course, hire all the staff we need to hire. Denise is already on board as the guide. We have our nurse hired, but all of the rest of, I think, about 26 staff members need to be hired and trained for the greenhouse model. And so we want to make sure we have enough time to get ready for that. So we'll be opening likely beginning of January. I've already talked about our partners here, which we are very grateful for. And this is just a little kind of fun sketch over here on the right of what it might look like in the garden area. And then we're very grateful to the William A. Looney Family Foundation. They have given us a very generous award that will mostly be used for campus improvements, some improvements for the Crandall Center too. We're going to be putting solar panels on our roof. And also they gave us funding to purchase a couple of 12 passenger ADA accessible buses, which will be essential as we open up and take people out to activities and things like that. But the tricycle here was one of the ideas from the Looney Family Foundation. Bill Looney, who founded the foundation, my understanding, was a biker himself. We want to have some trikes for elders to be able to ride around on the trails and things. So also looking forward to that. And people, we have had an interest list that we've kept for years, and Denise McCarty, the guide, has been calling folks. So if you've been on that list, you've gotten a call from Denise. But the exciting thing here today is, and this is the number that you can call if you have questions. And of course, you can ask questions here in a minute of myself and Carol. But if you want to start a conversation about having yourself or a loved one maybe move in as a resident, that is the number to call. I'm going to stop the share here and just go to the Mustard Seed Village website so you can actually see what it looks like. Here is the floor plan. Actually, this is I'm going to go back to the splash page. So this website just went live today. We're pretty excited about it. And it has a lot of really good information for people who want to learn more about the village, people who might be interested in living there, what to do, who to call, that kind of stuff. As you can see, you can request information, schedule a visit. And then, like I had it here just a second ago, you can see things like floor plans. This is a typical assisted living room, studio apartment, and the memory care apartment. The assisted living apartments are fairly good size, 325 square feet, with a little kitchenette in there and a nice bathroom. So these are designed as single rooms, although couples can live in the assisted living units. And the memory care units are designed as singles as well. So I'm going to stop here and see what questions we have. Do we have questions from Facebook or any other source?
Eric and Carol, perhaps both of you could address some of the concerns that we've been hearing from people who actually removed their family members from nursing homes and traditional assisted livings during the pandemic. And could we talk a little bit about how the greenhouse models homes differed in their case rates and their approach to all that?
Yeah, good question. Carol, do you want to answer that one?
I'll be happy to answer that question. So what's very different in the greenhouse model is that the team members that work in the greenhouse model are really the universal workers. So the team members are helping with any care, they help with laundry, they help with housekeeping, they help with doing activities. And because we have just a small number of people that are in each house, there are less people that would bring in germs or germs that we don't want to share. So there's fewer people coming in and out of the house. And when you look at a study that was done looking at greenhouse homes compared to the traditional nursing homes, the greenhouse homes had 1 or 2/3 fewer cases than the traditional homes and 5 times less mortality than the traditional homes.
Wow. Yeah, and that, of course, as I said too, these will be small homes, yeah, with fewer people. And the other aspect in the design of the building too, the HVAC system was designed so that in each apartment, there would be negative air pressure. So if a senior does get ill, they can be isolated in their room and the air is evacuated outside and it doesn't circulate through the building. So that's just one other aspect of Mustard Seed Village that we're really happy that we designed into it, not even knowing the pandemic was coming, but it's really glad about that. One other thing, I know there have been questions too about how much it will cost, what the monthly rates will be. And we will be announcing those officially soon, but I can say that the lowest rate for assisted living at a low level of care is about $4,500 per month. And then the highest level of care in memory care, which is higher level of care, would be about $8,500. So and we're of course not profit, we're a nonprofit, so we're not motivated by the bottom line. We just need to make the financials work. And one other thing that is I think an important aspect of our project is that because of the funding we received from Pierce County, but also aligning with our mission, 30% of the beds or the apartments in the homes will be reserved for low-income people, so Medicaid eligible people, which is an important part of the project. So we want to be able to reflect the diversity of the community in the wider KP community in the residents of the building. So that's a real big piece of it. Were there questions from Facebook, Julie, that you had?
Yes, we have a question. Can you talk a little bit about the application process for someone interested in getting an apartment at the village?
Yeah, basically, I'm not too involved in that, but I would just say call the number that we put up there for the village. Go to the website, and you'll get a call back promptly from Denise or somebody on the CCL team, and they will be able to walk people through any questions they have and what the process looks like. We haven't signed up anybody officially yet because we haven't been quite ready, but this is if that'll all be happening in October and November and following months. So just give a call to that number, and you can walk through the process with Concepts and Community Living, and they'll answer all the questions. So
okay, thank you. A couple more questions here. Can you talk a little bit about what the memory care is going to be like at the village?
Yeah, I wish Denise was not able to be here because she's in a training. But I know that memory care, dementia care is her passion, as it is for Edie Morgan, our founder. And so it will be as close to home as we can make it, but with some additional security measures. That's the way the building is designed, so people don't wander away. But there will be a lot of individual attention for the residents. Carol, do you have anything to add to that? What it's like in other greenhouse project homes?
Yeah, sure. So greenhouse homes believe in a best life approach to memory care. So when you think about serving somebody who may have some challenges with memory, we want to first make sure everybody is loved and welcome, because unfortunately out there in a world, there's a lot of stigma related to that diagnosis. And in greenhouse homes, we don't see that stigma. We really work hard to help people live a normal life. And that's hard in an institution, but a lot easier in a home. Dementia, when they're living in a regular home, there's the wayfinding, right? You know that your kitchen is by your living room, and then you see your dining room. It's laid out just like a house that you and I would live in. So there's normalcy there. There's also the team members are trained to really focus on retained abilities. So what are the skills and talents people have? Rather than focusing on deficits or challenges or risk, we really look at what does somebody have the ability to do, and how can we maximize those things? So maybe somebody has a harder time with lower extremities, but they can do lots of things with their upper extremities. So we figure out what are they passionate about, and how can we help fulfill their passion with the skills that they have. We also think about dignity of risk. So sometimes people will like to do things that in a traditional environment, people might say, oh no, there's risk, there's liability. So I'll just share one of the elders in another greenhouse home. Her and her son wanted to go for a motorcycle ride, and she'd never been on the motorcycle before, but that team came together, made sure she had the right clothing. She was safely strapped to the motorcycle and was able to take a motorcycle ride. So it's finding out how somebody can have the best quality of life and in partnership with high quality support and care. It's really about relationships, deep relationships, having elders that are living there decide how they want to live their life, what they want to do, and supported to live that best life possible.
That's great. Thank you, Carol. And just a couple of things I'd add, in the design of the memory care home, there's a courtyard on the southern end of the building, which gets great sun and it's secure, and it'll have a little garden area for the residents in the memory care home, as well as a little little garden cart that you can grow plants in, that has a light on it so you could take it inside during the winter and keep things going, which I'm a gardener, so I just love that kind of thing. And the other aspect, we want to try out music and some music programs as well for the memory care residents, and that's something that that Denise is very interested in, and it's been shown to have a big impact. Singing familiar songs can really help people dealing with dementia kind of tie into some of the memories they might not be able to access otherwise. So that's another thing we're looking forward to trying. And my personal goal is that as much as is possible, our memory care residents thrive as opposed to decline, and that's my hope. So, other questions from Facebook or anybody?
Eric?
Yes.
So I assume there will be a tour after the ribbon cutting?
Yes, yeah. Hopefully we'll have our occupancy certificate, so everybody will be able to go in without a hard hat. If that doesn't happen, we'll have plenty of hard hats. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
And one other comment, and it is a comment, not a question.
Yeah.
I visited a friend on Sunday who is in a assisted living situation, and she's very unhappy. And facility was really depressing. Long hallways, all the doors were closed. She told me that they no longer provide meals because they can't find cooks. And people do not communicate. The residents do not communicate. So this is just a contrast to what you are presenting.
Yes, yeah, and I've told this story a few times, but I had an experience when I was a kid visiting my great grandma in a nursing home. This is way back in the 70s, but it was a horrible place. It sounds like somewhat similar to what you've just described, and that's kind of what inspires me to do it. We need to treat our elders with respect and dignity, and I think as a society we have a lot of work to do there. But I'm hoping that our project here can serve as an inspiration for other communities who have a similar challenges, in terms of being rural and not having a lot of options for seniors and for care. So I'm really hoping that we're able to do it in the way that we envision and inspire others to do something similar. So
Thanks.
thank you.
Eric, can you talk a little bit about how it will work? I know that the residents are welcome in the kitchen and welcome in the raised beds. How much say will they have in when the meals are prepared and what's grown in the raised beds and so on? Can you talk a little bit about that?
I think quite a bit. I mean, for sure what's growing in the beds, because I mean, if you're a gardener, you want to be able to grow what you want to grow. And in terms of the meals, of course, you'll be living with 9 other people in each of the homes. So you probably have a few discussions about that, but we want the residents to have, like as Carol said, the autonomy, to be able to make those decisions themselves. So as they would at home. But of course, you've got other people that you're living with, so there's that consideration. But I'm hoping that that residents help cook and are inspired to do that, and maybe teach others some of their favorite recipes and that kind of thing. And really excited about that. I mean, from a completely selfish standpoint, that's the kind of place I would like to live in. So that's what that inspires me to do this work, to put this together. So
Will all the raised beds and everything be in by the time it opens, or is that a different phase?
We won't be able to do that, and and then of course we were going to open in December, January, so we wouldn't be able to do much with those beds for a bit anyway. So our plan is to have those in by the spring of this next year, so that they will be ready for this next growing season. Some of those, we're calling it phase 2, but that's the playground and the outdoor performance area and the raised beds. Will take a little bit longer, but we'll move it as quickly as we can. We do have to go through some permitting for the outdoor play area and the stage and all that stuff, because we just need to do that. But I'm hoping that by next spring, summer, all of those amenities should be in and ready for people to enjoy. Longer term, as the vegetation grows in, the plantings grow up, I think this will be a really nice community resource, kind of a park for people to enjoy. So,
will those areas be open to the public?
We still have to start up and open, but my desire is that they would be, at least during the day, that people could come up and enjoy. We will have grounds people taking care of the gardens, and there will be staff people 24/7. So I think it would be, my vision is that it would be open to the public, not at night, but during the day when.
It might be a little bit premature, but are you planning to have any kind of cooperation with the Pierce County Libraries as far as programming, books?
I would love to hear more about that, Neil. I hadn't thought of it, but yes, would be my answer. One of the things that we have talked about is, food backpacks for kids is
right
as a building that we rent to them right on the end of the lot where the homes are being built right now. And we definitely want to involve those younger families and kids with the village, and have some intergenerational programming. And we have quite a few nonprofit partners in the community, and are excited to think about working with them, as well as Key Pen Parks. We've talked with them too about that kind of thing, and taking seniors out to the parks and things like that. So, but yeah, a library, Pierce, I would love to hear more about that, Neil, because it sounds like it'd be an excellent addition.
right and as you know, it's my passion, provide walks for people, and one of the Key Peninsula parks.
Yes, yeah, I mean, and that's what those buses will be handy for, because we'll be able to take people there and then take them back home as well. And nobody's asked this, but I bet you some people are wondering, pets will be allowed, small pets who are well trained will be allowed. That's another, I think, real important thing. And as part of the greenhouse project model going way back to the 90s, animals can be really therapeutic for people. So anything else? Carol, did you have anything else to add that we didn't cover?
I can't think of anything additional at this time.
Okay. And for everybody who is watching or who watches later, who wasn't able to do it live, if you have additional questions, please just reach out, check out the website, mustardseedvillage.org. Could we get that phone number again? Do we have that handy? No, here it is, 253-900-9936. And if you didn't write that down quick enough, just call us here at the Mustard Seed Project and we'll give it to you. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, Carol. So have a great rest of your day. Maureen?
Yes, just before everyone goes, I'd like to talk about our upcoming forums. Next Thursday on October 6th, we have an in-person forum at the Crandall Center with Bill talking about Medicare and the complexities thereof and how to sign up. And so that is at 1 o'clock in the Crandall Center. It will also be streamed live on Facebook and it will be posted to YouTube later. And on October 20th, we will have a Zoom presentation by Mike Lonergan, our assessor or treasurer, talking about property tax exemptions for seniors and other aspects of the whole property tax issue. So you can get more information by going on our website, our Facebook page, or calling our main line, 253-884-9814.
That reminds me what Maureen just said about Bill doing his presentation next week. I talked to Julie this morning. We want to make sure that people are aware that I do Medicare counseling during this upcoming open enrollment, and that this is publicized on the Mustard Seed website and so forth.
Yeah.
Thank you, Neil. And Neil is an expert on that topic and works at our CASIC desk. So if you need information on that, I would take him up on his offer. He's a great resource.
Well, with that, I'd like to thank Carol and Eric very much for this really interesting presentation. And we'll look forward to seeing everybody next Thursday.
Thank you.
Bye.